Happy Thanksgiving, Needham, and thanks for giving us 30 minutes to talk about Needham Real Estate. You're watching What's My House Worth, really the authority of Needham Real Estate here on the Needham channel. My name is Rob Tickton. This is Ryan McDonald. We are with Hawthorn Real Estate. We provide brokerage services to our clients. We are also a design build company. Today's show is going to talk about October sales. And Ryan, when you think about October, was it everything you dreamed it would be, more or less? Or
I mean, the weather was certainly nice, and still is.
it is. Yeah,
You know, we've been very fortunate so far.
We were due.
Yeah, keep that that optimism going through as the winter months approach, though.
Okay.
So October, I mean, a little light, Rob.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, we had 14 sales in October. I mean, that's 6 less than the pace of September. We're down from 20 last month. Also down, Rob, the average list price and the average sale price is both under $1 million. They were both of those numbers were over $1 million for September.
Yeah, just actually the third month of this year that they've both been under $1 million.
Yeah. So, and then, but the numbers that I think, to me at least, kind of jumped out the most are the percentages. So we're at 97% of list price is your average sale price, and then at 95.6% of the original list. And in really in any market, your house should sell at or around 97 and up of list when obviously properly priced. But we've been rolling along at high 90s, 100 plus.
Right.
So this is the first month that we've seen in a long time where our numbers are down this low.
First one since February.
Yeah. So that's is it timing? I think we'll see. Well, there's only 14 sales.
Right.
You do have some that had some significant price reductions. One in particular that had a series of rather large price reductions, and that obviously skews the numbers, especially with a smaller sales mix of only 14 sales, but still.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those as we go through them. Also, average sales price per square foot, $357.
That's down.
Average days on market, 79, which feels like it's
That's
a little bit up.
Yeah,
okay.
We were at 376 for price per square foot last month, and then we were at 41 days, which is where we had been running. So again, I think we're seeing a little bit of absorption, maybe of some houses that were on the market that are sort of, for lack of a better term, left over from the spring they're closing in October that may be skewing the numbers. So it'll be interesting to see how this bounces back in the coming months.
And nice use of the word absorption.
Thank you.
Trailing 6 months, we take a look at that graph and see how October stacks up against the 5 months leading up to it, and certainly no surprises here, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're looking at, when we talk about the high volume of sales in June, July, and August, that's the result of the activity, the buying activity that it takes place in March, April, May, for the most part.
Right.
So what you're looking at in October is reflective of the activity, the buying activity of the summer, which traditionally is lower, which we'll see in the next slide. But it's, still it's 14 sales. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of closings this month in Needham.
It's not, and it doesn't feel, or at least it doesn't feel like it is until you see it stacked up against previous Octobers, and then it feels like it's about right. Like maybe 14 actually is the number that it should be.
Yeah, it's just such a different feeling. But when you're right, Rob, when you look at it historically, outside of that 23 sale number in October 2013, the 14 sales is right on line. So maybe it's nothing to be alarmed about. I don't think it's indicative of the sky falling, but
right.
It's still it's noteworthy given the environment that we've been in.
Yeah, and maybe some of the aftershocks of the crazy spring market that we had as things start to normalize at least a little bit. Time to examine the sales on a case-by-case basis. We're going to start with the lowest sales price for the month and work our way up. Our first sale for the month of October in terms of the lowest sales price is $299 Central. This house located at the corner of Central and Cedar. Ryan, you and I both had a chance to walk through this one.
Yeah, we did, and I think we both came out saying the same thing. We both thought it was priced a little bit too high out of the chutes, and that proved to be accurate. It went
prophetic,
out,
if you will.
Yeah, right. Went out at $624,500 and sold at $542,000. Like you mentioned, it is on the corner of Cedar and the Avenue, so a little bit of a busy spot.
It is it's a tough spot for sure. You have the guardrail right there.
Right.
It's a bigger lot, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a bigger lot because a lot of that space is in the front of the house.
Yeah, and I mean, in the house needs some work, and one thing I did notice is after it did go under agreement, and then it came back on the market.
Right.
And a lot of times what we find where listings just are what they are, and nobody ever updates the remarks. So sometimes they say, first showings at open house on Saturday, and it's 3 months ago. This one the buyer agent or the listing agent did go in there, updated the remarks, and said full disclosure right off the bat, buyer financing fell through. So they're just trying to eliminate the questions about why this property is back on the market. Was there a defect? Was there an issue? They're saying the buyer financing fell through. There's nothing wrong with the house. Everybody come back. Let's do this. Let's start this process over again. So wondering, what's your take on that? You think that's a good move?
I do. I mean, you're answering a question before it gets asked, and I think people's inclination is that when a deal falls through, it's due to the inspection.
Right.
So this is basically the listing agent's way of saying, inspection was not an issue here. It was the buyer's fault, basically not the seller's fault.
Right.
So everybody come on back.
Yep.
Yeah, so 3 price drops, and I think we kind of had a sense that it was going to kind of work its way down a little bit.
Yep.
That house, by the way, built in 1919. I think we're going to head over to 7-Eleven.
Okay.
The 7-Eleven Great Plain Avenue would be our next listing. This one is located between Woodlawn and Manning, Ryan.
Yes, and it's went out at $669 and sold for $703, so that's a nice little bump. That's moving our needle the other way on the average sale prices percentage list.
Correct.
So this one sold also in 2005 for $628, so it's nice appreciation between then and now.
I was a little surprised, though. I would have thought that number would have been a little bit lower, believe it or not. No?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first thought that kind of popped into my head when I noticed that.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right, we can certainly discuss that further offline.
Okay.
This one, it definitely had the bachelor pad feel to it. Had the pool table in the living room, the air hockey table in the basement.
Fun.
So you're definitely going to get the kids excited about it when they go and see that, and they're probably asking their parents if that stuff can stay.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the decorating goes, and get back to you guys on that. Small lot, Rob, 6,900 square feet, on Great Plain, but as you mentioned, between Manning and Woodlawn, so near town.
Yep.
So I mean, I think it's a good price.
Yeah, 703 is a low number for a walk-to-town location.
Yep.
109 Brookside Road is our next listing. And Ryan, I got to tell you, I really like that picture.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I do. I mean, it's nice.
It's just got a country feel to it. It makes it just feel like it's, got really expansive land, which it does.
It does. I mean, Brookside is over by Volante, out towards the Wellesley Country Club, that side of town. And this one, I mean, it's listed for $819.9. It sells for $725. I think maybe, obviously, the price is probably a little bit high. Mm-hmm. But you're getting a good deal here. You're getting this for under $300 a foot.
Yep.
It's dated, but it showed really well. Like the original features in the house, the gumwood moldings, it looked very nice. I mean, certainly you can go in and maybe do some updating. But I think this is a good deal for the buyer. So
I would agree. It was a deal of the month candidate.
It was a candidate for me too. I mean, it's over an acre, or maybe just right at an acre. You got to want to be in that part of town. It's not like an in-town location, but there's nice neighborhoods over there. You're close to Wellesley, close to the access points of the commuter.
128.
128, thank you, and Route 9. So in under $300 a foot for, usually you see the under $300 a foot for large houses or new construction or whatever. This is a $725 for this much space. I like it.
Do you notice it had 5 porches?
That's a lot of porches.
Yeah, 5 porches. You don't see many 5-porch homes sell for $725,000.
5 rocking chairs, or just maybe do they take the rocking chair and move it to whatever porch they have?
I don't know. I can't give you any more details other than what I see in the listing sheet.
You need an abundance of rocking chairs.
That's true. That's a good
Or
point.
maybe a swing. Get a swing.
You can mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to a walk-to-town location, if that's okay.
Let's do that.
All right. 6 Pinewood is our next listing. This is a ladder street.
It is.
It's at the corner of Pinewood and Great Plain Avenue. Ryan, go.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I think the another example of a listing agent sort of putting their the house's best foot forward, saying, hey, this is a location sale. It could use some updating, maybe some expansion. We did. The new owner is certainly going down that path. Excuse me. So it's a house that has a lot of things to like. It is on the corner of Great Plain, but it's still in that walk to town location on Pinewood, which is a really nice street. You're getting it for $800 or just over. It's just under 2,000 square feet, but it's got some real upside to it.
Yeah, and the lot size is just shy of 10,000 square feet,
Mm-hmm.
which is decent size for that area. Assessed value on that one, $754,700. Okay?
Yes.
All set, ready to move on? To Brackett we go.
Okay.
A listing that got a lot of attention when it came on the market. The number there is 43 Brackett Street. Some nice features in this house, Ryan.
That's single level living, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the corner of Brackett and Gay Street, which is right near High Rock in the area where you can basically walk to Newman. It's a quick hop, skip, and a jump to Newman. Large lot, 14,000 square feet. So there's definitely, it's a house. It's an older home as far as its decor and in terms of its updates. But there's potential for just renovating and staying on as a ranch, or you can certainly add on to it. The lot is certainly welcome to that. And I think this is an underrated location in Needham.
Yeah, and you talk about potential for renovating. Some work already done.
Yep.
First floor laundry, central air, newer roof.
Yep.
So like you said, bigger lot, so had some nice things going for it. We talked about the ladder streets before. Speaking of ladder streets, or are we, is 197 Manning Street.
Yeah, it might be a little liberal with the association with the ladder streets.
Yeah, is that yeah? I think I might agree.
I mean, I think it's probably, you could say it's on one of the most desirable streets that is perpendicular to the ladder streets.
Okay, maybe that's a little too wordy to put in a listing sheet.
Maybe. But 197 Manning Street, it's on the market for almost 40 days. Went out at 849, sold at 825. It's 2,000 square feet, but this is, when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, you got a colonial there, but the layout was not at all what you would expect. When you walked in the front door, it was front to back, living room, dining room, kitchen, family room. The family room was an addition in the back. And then on the other side of the house, you had 2 bedrooms and a bath on the first floor. And then you had 3 bedrooms upstairs with another full bath. So it was a unique layout for sure. So interesting the way that house was set up. And I think it probably didn't necessarily appeal to everybody right off the bat. When this one came on, there were other houses in its price range that I think got attention. I think it was on the same weekend, if you remember, 3 Thorpe, which got a ton of attention.
Yeah, you're going up against a buzzsaw when you're going up against 3 Thorpe.
So it had that going against it, and then Manning at that point, double line road.
Yep.
And the kind of a unique first floor layout, which probably contributed to. And let's not all get panicky here. It still sells for a really good number. 825 is nothing to sneeze at. But on the market 40 days and selling for under asking, and that's probably why.
Not sure it is a double line road.
Sure?
Webster's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You might be right.
But
you're probably right.
Yeah, but lots. Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you.
That's okay. No,
I
welcome constructive feedback.
Just preferably offline.
Right.
Lots of natural light there, and specifically that's in between Lindbergh and Brookline, that house. So a good walking location there on Manning, close to town.
Yep.
And a 7,800 square foot lot there as well. Anything else on Manning Street?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I agree. So
Okay.
we shall move on to the next listing, which is 343 Greendale Avenue. This house is right where Hunting meets
Yes.
Greendale, right?
Yep.
So north, a little bit further north on Greendale, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, just getting everybody situated, Ryan.
No, that's very helpful.
Just trying to do my thing.
Yeah, a big lot, over 11,000 square feet, and
Yeah.
an expanded cave, deceptively large. Like when you're looking at it from the front, from the street rather, it's unassuming, and but then you find out this house is over 3,200 square feet, including the lower level.
That's right, and according to the listing sheet, updated and well cared for.
Yeah, which are that's a nice combination.
Yeah, sure.
That's what you're looking for in a house.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Sold for $559,000 in 2007. Did you see that?
Yeah, 890 is better.
Yeah, way better.
But they did work too.
They did. And let's be honest, 07, that's 8 years ago already.
Right. Gosh.
I know, isn't that crazy?
You're getting old.
Quickly.
You are, at least.
That's true. Not you, though.
No.
Our next listing, we're going to head back towards that Brackett area.
Yep.
We're going to go towards that walk to Newman. We're going to do that walk to Newman thing again, Ryan.
Yeah, well, Newman's a good walking school. A lot of walking school bus action at Newman.
That's right. Yeah. Underrated.
Yeah.
We had underrated walk to school location. 28.
How many things can we underrate in this?
Yeah,
town?
yeah. Well, we could probably have more fun overrating things.
Yeah, it would definitely be more controversial.
Exactly. We get ourselves into trouble. Whoa! How about that? Look at that. Red writing, right?
Yeah. How about it?
And I'm going to give that my deal of the month.
Okay.
Overall, tough month for deals of the month.
And it wasn't easy.
It wasn't, and we both agreed we had a finalist that was the same, but neither one of us selected it. I went with 28 Bellevue Drive. This is a newer home. It was built in 1995, Ryan. As I mentioned, it's a walk-to-town location. I'm sorry, correct. Walk to Newman location.
Mm-hmm. You can walk to town. It'll take you a little while.
Right, that's true. But it's still my deal of the month.
Okay.
I just misspoke.
Right.
It's a good space, 10,000 square foot lot. You look at the pictures and it looked just slightly tired. I think, by just doing something as simple as painting that house, I think it would really go a long way. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's a newer home for low nines on a good sized lot in a good location. I think, these are few and far between. And for that reason, Ryan, 28 Bellevue Drive is my deal of the month.
Yeah, and I think just to expand on the point you just made, Yeah, it may not have shown, in its best light, but that works to the advantage of the buyer.
True.
Because that's low-hanging fruit for you buy this house, you get you get it for a good price, and you make, just even modest cosmetic improvements to it, and it looks tremendous. And because if the house had already been done that way, it would cost you a lot more as the buyer to acquire it, and you might have had some competition.
Right, and maybe on the other side, if the seller spends 10 grand, 12.5, paints the house, gets some nice kind of current updated colors in there, it would look like a much different house, and you'd probably see the return on the sell side.
Agreed.
It's all about cost benefit, Ryan.
Yeah.
So kind of an interesting comparison on that one. So that one sells for $920,000. Our next listing is 122 Richardson Drive, so it sells for $130,000 more. You're talking about a quieter street,
Yes.
a bigger lot. We see some things on Richardson every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
And this is 1.27 acres.
Right. I mean, you mentioned it's a lot quieter. I mean, Bellevue is on the corner of Bellevue and the Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Richardson is a neighborhood off of High Rock, for those who don't know, and there's no outlet. So
No.
you go into Richardson, you've got Stonehurst, and you got that other street,
Aldridge,
which we'll get to in a second. But there's nothing, there's no traffic. It's very, very private, and the lots are very large. They abut the town forest, so there's a lot to like in that regard. Because usually you think, I got to go out near Dover to get a property like that, but no, you've got one that's really right near the mix. You're very close to the center of town. You're close to Newman School. So there's a lot to like about that location. The homes, they're very similar in a lot of cases to this one. You've got colonials and some multi-levels. They're usually in that 25 to 3,000 square feet with various degrees of updates. This is a good. I think it's a good buy. But the one thing I noticed is it's unusual for a house to have only 4 days on market to accept an offer that's $100,000 under asking.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It'd be interesting to know what the circumstances were there. But, and the other thing about this is a 3-bedroom house, and you look back 4 years, and there's only 4 houses that have sold more as 3 bedrooms than this one. So I would say even taking $100,000 off the asking, this house by comparison did very well.
All right, very good. Some good research there, Ryan. But I do agree, if you want a lot of land and a quiet street and you want to be close to town, Richardson is the street for you. That's right. That house built in 1963. Busier street would be 335, would be Brookline Street. Our next listing would be 335 Brookline Street. And, this is the corner of Brookline and Fairlawn. And when I first saw it, it seemed like a pretty high number. But the more I kind of dug into this listing, it feels about right because it's a lot of space.
It's a lot of space.
And it's a good spot. And even though Brookline, it's been updated. And even though Brookline is busier, you are on the corner of Fairlawn, which is a quiet, little side street there. So, yeah, $1,075,000 feels about right.
I had the exact same initial reaction to it. I kind of went, when it came out at $999, that was a great price, obviously. Just the psychological difference of being at $999 versus $1,025,000 or whatever. And I had the same reaction. I thought, it seems kind of high. And then you dig deeper and you look at how big this house is. It's got, the lot is only 7,800 square feet, but it's right near the high school. It's near, it's convenient to town and everything else. So it works.
Yeah, it was a great property description, I thought, as well. And the listing agent referred to this house as a gem, and she might just be right, Ryan.
She might have just been right.
She might be right. 75 Clark Road is our next listing. This is a house that sold in 2012, Ryan, for $832,000, and all those people did was seemingly completely renovate the inside of this house because the pictures looked exquisite.
Right.
A word I don't use very often, but probably explains why it sells for $1,099 in such a short period of time.
Yeah, that's getting a good number for a 2,200 square foot Cape.
Yes.
It's a good sized lot. It's over 13,000 square feet. But as you mentioned, the updates were done very well, and it's really maximizing the space. We constantly refer to Thorpe as sort of like the benchmark for how to take a house to its full potential. I think that was also done here. You're really getting the most out of this property, and this is in a very nice neighborhood with some very nice homes on it on Clark Road. So this is a nice property.
Yeah, very close to the corner of Glendale and Glendale.
That's my favorite.
Number one and number two. We talk about this neighborhood when we, at the end of the year, we do our analysis of all the school districts and how Hillside always, the numbers surprise us a little bit that they're as high as they are, and we always kind of attribute it to this neighborhood. It's a great spot.
Yeah, this neighborhood is really, really contributing. It's pulling its weight as far as Hillside's overall numbers go.
That's right. Okay, so back over towards the Richardson direction, we are going to land at 11 Aldridge. The reason we say Richardson is because to get to Aldridge, you have to go by way of Richardson. This one sells for $122,500. Ryan, thoughts?
First thing that jumps off the page, Rob.
Yeah?
6 levels of living space?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I expected basically a borderline skyscraper.
Right.
I mean, I still don't know how that works.
Maybe there's like 2 steps between each level.
Like, what are we considering a level at that point?
I don't know. You think they're not on a level?
I don't know. It's just, I'm curious as to how that lays out. There's also a lift in the garage.
Love the looks of that garage.
Is that a level? Is
No.
the car up on there, does that count? Is that one of the levels?
No, it can't be.
Okay. So
that would be a little too liberal, the use of the word level.
Well, at least they didn't say this is a ladder street.
True, that's a good point.
So a lot of levels of living at Aldridge. 1.22. It's one of those houses that when you're looking at it, you're like, all right, how does this work out? I mean, it's a neat looking house. The kitchen, the master bath have been updated. The garage lift obviously is pretty neat because it's like you want a 3-car garage, you can't have it, but you've got a lift in there, and it's that can be very convenient. And it's very private. So it's you've got a large lot. I mean, it's a nice piece of property.
Yeah. Have I ever mentioned that I really like the 3-car garage?
Yes. You mentioned it very, very frequently.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I think does this bring, no, almost, not our last one, our second to last listing. This is over on Southfield Court, which isn't too far away actually from Aldridge. 1 Southfield Court is the listing. It sells for $1,399. This went on and off the market, Ryan, for a number of years. I think a pretty good number considering.
I agree. It has the water access on Southfield Court. Not all the houses really abut the little ponds back there, which is kind of nice if you have any winter skaters in the family. And this is, this neighborhood is, all the homes were built obviously at a similar time. They have a similar look and feel. The floor plans vary a little bit, but are not overly unique with one another. It's
Agreed.
just about what you do once you get your mitts on the house and you want to get in there and put your stamp on it. The issue that you do run into there is, you're very interested. When your neighbor puts his house on the market, you're very, very interested in what they get for it.
Oh,
because
for sure.
There's not a lot that you're going to really be able to do to distinguish yourself. So you always run the risk of somebody has extenuating circumstances. They need to move, they need to sell, and they bail at a discount, and that will be tied to your house as if and when you're going to sell that in the very near future.
Yeah, it's a great point, Ryan.
So everybody's interested when Southfield Court properties come on the market.
Everybody who lives on
Right,
Southfield
everybody
Court.
lives there, yeah.
Some great analysis. You're really hitting a home run today.
Oh, gee, that's really nice of you.
Yeah, well, I call it like I see it. Our last listing is our big seller, and it is 828 South Street. Oh. And as I look at that, oh, there it is. I've been waiting, Ryan.
I thought we maybe forgot that there was
I
another deal of the
know.
month in the mix.
You probably couldn't see it as you watched me, but internally,
panicking.
I was panicking.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple things here. Like, this is one of those houses where, it went on the market. It has the original list here at 1,495. The actual original list was 1,795.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those properties that you go in to see it at 1,795, and you're just kind of like, all right, it's nice.
Yeah.
But then as it starts to reduce, you start to think, wait a minute, we got to get back in there, because at 1,440, this is a home run. I mean, this house is really, really, really impressive. I mean, it's stucco, which I personally, think is really nice. The den had one of those really nice paneled stained wall dens with a fireplace that has access to the patio and nice views of the yard. There's a pond in the backyard, which is cool. The butler's pantry leading to a kitchen. Kitchen was redone, very nice, a little bit on the small side, but this is just an impressive house. A nice, really nice game room on the second floor with vaulted ceilings and a fireplace. Like, there was just so much to like. It's just when it was at almost 1.8, you're kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I like it, but just not that much.
Right, and then, but there's so much implied value when you're going back there. You're like, whoa, I just basically got a big discount off of a house that I really liked, but I didn't want to stretch for. And now you're telling me I can get it at 1.4s at $300 a foot. I like it, and I think the buyer hit a home run here.
Wow. Are you sure you didn't buy it?
I bought it.
Okay, congratulations. Not really. So that concludes our 14 sales for the month of October. Before we start to look at the market snapshot, we've pulled together a little bonus information, Ryan.
Ooh, fun.
I know, people like it. No houses that sold this month for $2 million or more.
Yeah, what? I mean, what?
I know, which is an oddity, and it never was an oddity up until this year. If we look at the last 5 years, we can kind of stack up what's been going on in terms of the high end in Needham. And we've talked about it a little bit on the show, Ryan, that the $2 million range, we're seeing some things we haven't seen before. I don't think anything illustrates it quite as well as this slide.
Right. It really hit home when we were listing a house that was above $2 million earlier in the year, and one of the agents who ultimately represented the buyer was kind of, reluctant to engage in the dialogue because she really just didn't see Needham as a $2 million town. And I mean, as you can see by that slide and how every month we're standing up here talking about our $2 million sale of the month, I mean, it's certainly gone that way. And we've got a lot of properties that haven't necessarily hit MLS that have been built or renovated or put back into the housing mix that are well over $2 million in value. That would even take this those 14 sales even further because they're out there. But Needham really has run that gamut now. We have the starter market, we have the mid market where people are turning over, getting into their second homes or whatever, and then we have the high end market in Needham, and I think that's really healthy, and that really speaks to the kind of the strength of this market. I'll
be curious to see if that 14 is a blip and it goes back down starting in 2016, or is that the new norm? So hopefully we're still around to find out the answer to that.
Yeah, right.
Market snapshot, Ryan, what's going on currently as we stand up here speaking to the town of Needham? We look at the number of active single-family listings, 75. It's starting to go down, so it seems to be trending in the right direction from 91 last month to 75 this month. Under agreement is up, but it's consistent with where it was a year ago from today, which is 57 single-family homes under agreement, and the average listing price, no surprise there, right? Everything else seems to be kind of normal.
Yeah, the 1.4 is on par with what we've seen. It does speak to a lot of the new construction mix that's out there, and really that doesn't necessarily mean you have an abundance of finished homes that are sitting on the market. A lot of new construction that's on the market contributing to that average sales price are homes that are still under construction. Mm-hmm. So a lot of builders choose to leave that house on the market during construction. It definitely drives the days on market. It drives it keeps the average listing price sort of at that high number, but it doesn't really reflect stale listings that are sitting there that are done that nobody's buying.
Right, partially, but not totally.
Yeah, right, not exclusively, but that's certainly a contributing factor, and it's why we tend to see the average listing price much higher than our average sale price month over month.
Right. Well put. So last up is our listing picture of the month. I know the fans love it. We get a lot of feedback about the listing picture of the month. And Ryan, I don't know about you, but I want to buy that house.
Me too, Rob. I would say I would make a sight unseen offer.
Yeah, I mean it just has so much going for it.
Right.
When you think about it, it's on a street with trees.
Yeah, there's sky.
Curb.
Yeah. It's
appeal.
Sunny.
Yeah, it's just a great looking house. What is that siding? Do we know what that siding is?
No.
No. But I'm certainly intrigued. It makes me want to go visit it.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I didn't think you could have a house with that many levels.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's called an apartment building.
All right, there you go. So, Ryan, anybody wants to get a hold of us for any reason?
And they have been. Boy, I got to tell you, we're getting some similar feedback. So maybe what we'll talk about in our next show is some of the comments that we have been getting with regard to maybe some other information that some viewers want to see covered, and maybe we'll get into that.
Hey,
but
don't give anything away.
I won't. That's stay tuned for our December show.
All right, give out the contact info.
Yes, if you want to contact us, you can give us a call at any time at 781-707-6564, or you can email us at rob.ryan@hawthornre.com.
And we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you.
Yeah.
But for now, that does it for the October installment of What's My House Worth. We look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.